about the election update from the stable of Punch newspaper. Do well to follow our social media handles on all social media platforms and our website, Punch NG. Nigerians have voted, they've decided, and we have the results. You've spoken through the ballot, and the results are out there. I remember my own self, Alfred Olufemi. And to do this with me today is Lukman and Segun Odunayo. Lukman and Segun, how are you today?
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
The atmosphere is quite tense. The results are out. A lot of people are agitating, right, left, center, back. A lot of people have rejected the results. Some said they are going to the tribunal. Segun, how did the candidates perform?
A very good afternoon to you, Alfred, and of course the wingman beside me, Bolade Lukman. Good afternoon to you out there, viewers. If anything on the streets here is anything to sound like on the streets of other parts of the country, people are already coming out. That means that there is no security crisis, there's no breach of security, there's no chaos, there's no commotion, nobody's dying. Like in 2011 when results were announced and in parts of the country trouble was going on. As much as I know as of now, there's no chaos anywhere. The over 200 million people of Nigeria are calm, cool, collected, and I'm sure that while certain persons are headed to the court, certain persons are ready to work with the president-elect.
Sorry to cut you in, Segun. For the record, the All Progressive Congress candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been declared the president-elect after polling 8.7 million votes. Trailing closely is the PDP candidate, Atiku Abubakar, who polled 6.9 million votes. The third person is the LP candidate, Peter Obi, who polled 6.1 million votes. And the fourth candidate, I mean, we have a lot of other candidates, but the person who came fourth, the NNPP candidate, Rabi Musa Kwakwanso, polled a total of 1.496 million votes. Segun, considering the demographics of this, because as you can see, Nigerians voted, I mean, a lot of people say quite on ethnic lines, religious lines, and we can see the map here. I mean, what surprises have you noticed from the results that we have here?
I think anybody who is a student of Nigerian politics, who have been studying Nigerian politics and who understands the nitty-gritty of what the game is about, will definitely, seriously, judiciously give kudos to the man Peter Gregory Obi. What started like in quotes now the NSAS movement, you know, people just thought it would fizzle off like salt in the rain, pressure, it would go off. It didn't. Rather, it was mounting, and people indeed took their anger to the polls. At first, people were saying they don't have PVC, they're just a bunch of noisemakers, no structure. The structureless party got 6.1 million legitimate votes, and even some of them are even saying that with pictures that abound on the internet, with videos, some of their votes, or in places that they said they won, that individuals came to disrupt that process. So, I mean, if
those are allegations.
A party with structure in PDP is pulling 6.9, and a party without structure is pulling 6.1.
I mean, with no structure in
Sorry,
quotes.
with no structure in quotes.
Yeah.
No agents, no party leaders, nothing. Kudos to Peter Obi and his men.
Lukman, are you also surprised by the performance of the LP candidate?
Yes, very well. I'm very surprised. One would expect that, as Segun rightly said, that it was just a social media, what do we call it now? A social media trance. But people, all the social media trance and noise, quote and unquote, now translated into millions of votes across several parts of the country. So yes, it was suspenseful, it was intriguing. It's really a closely contested election.
Oh, please, let's have the geographical representation of how Nigerians voted. Okay, Segun, if you look at the map, you notice that in the southwest region,
Yeah.
there's a kind of difference. I mean, we have Osun voting LP, Osun voting PDP,
Yeah.
and Lagos voted LP out of the 6 southwestern states. Is that a worry?
Worry.
I mean, for the APC, because it's believed that the southwest is the home base of the APC candidate, and he lost in Osun and also lost in Lagos.
You look at the circumstances that led to that. You know, there was crisis after the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the primaries of the APC. By crisis, I don't mean chaos in exact words, but while the primary was going on, there were messages circulating around party members not to vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because if he wins the election, as at then, he was going to go with a Muslim ticket, and they had to come out to counter it to say that they had no, he didn't even know what he was going to do yet because there was no victory in his hands. Now, when he got victory, the next stage, will you go with a Muslim ticket? Will the core northeast, northwest vote for a Muslim and a Christian northern ticket? Do they have anybody in the north who is strong as a Christian who can pull voters over to their party's end? A lot of permutations kicked in. So it worked that way in the southwest as well. I guess he decided to take the risk, knowing that most Yoruba voters, most southwestern voters, are more inclined to people from their ethnic group before considering your religion. They believe that my brother is my brother first, or I'll vote for my brother in quote first before I begin to ask you if you worship Obatala, or you go to what church, or you go to, do you get my point, or if you are a Muslim. So in places that, look at the Osun example, the governor in Osun now is of the PDP extraction, and he just lost his case at the court. So you will expect that people who are loyal to the candidacy of Ademola Adeleke, Senator Ademola Nudin Adeleke, I will feel there's a strong possibility that if this man emerges, there's a possibility that our governor may be kicked out. And if you look at the results, 300 plus, the margin wasn't much. Now the Lagos example, a cosmopolitan city, more people who are learned, more people who are schooled, persons who probably feel, I don't like the Muslim ticket, I will vote against them. I don't like the Muslim ticket, I would prefer not to come out and vote. And if you consider the large influx or the large number of persons who are not of Yoruba extraction, there's also a strong possibility that persons came out to the vote to express their anger, to express their disappointment at the Muslim ticket. And you could see the reflection in the elections in Lagos and in Osun. Take that aside, in Ekiti, it was like hands down. In Osun, in Oyo, it was hands down. In Ondo, it was hands down.
Shegun, we are still going to go back to that. For the record, in Osun, the PDP had 355,000 votes. Closely behind is the APC, 343,000 votes. And the LP came a distant third with 23,000 votes. Let's leave the southwest. Look, man, let's go to the north. You know, it's expected and believed that the LP candidate does not have the support, even though his running mate is from Kaduna, that he does not have that northern support base. But there's something quite interesting in Plateau State. In Plateau State, the LP had 466,000 votes, and behind them is the PDP with 243,000 votes. Do you think there's something, I mean, that's because he said that ethnicity played a role in Southwest? Are we also going to say that ethnicity or maybe religious sentiments played a role in Plateau?
Well, I would say that it's definitely religion, because when you look at Plateau State, there are a large number. There's a large number of Christians in Plateau State. So rather than vote for a Muslim ticket, I feel that the people felt that an Obi presidency would, which is a Christian and a Muslim ticket, would favor them more than going for a Muslim ticket. So yes, I think that religion really played a serious role in the triumph of LP in Plateau State again. So yes, I think it's religion. And I also feel that you should also consider the proximity of Plateau State to the FCT. Of course, you will see that the Labour Party won the FCT as well. So you look at the proximity and you look at religion, that you can easily decide that yes, this is for.
In the FCT, for the record, the LP had 281,000 votes, closely behind 74,000 polled by the People's Democratic Party, and the the APC, no, closely 90,000 from the APC and a third from the PDP with 74,000 votes. That's for the FCT. There's also the argument around. A lot of people believe that even if the LP candidate had the simple majority vote as required in the Constitution, it will still fall short. I mean, regarding the 25% benchmark in 25 states. For the record, only the APC candidate had 25% in 25 plus states. Talking about 25 in Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, and the rest of them, including all the southwestern states. Atiku Abubakar, on the other hand, had 25% in 21 states. Peter Obi, who has sprung, I mean, so
21?
Yeah, in 21 states. In 21 states,
Atiku
Abubakar had 25% in 21 states. So Peter Obi, who has obviously surprised a lot of people, polled 25% in 16 states. And don't forget that most of these votes came from a particular region. I'm talking about the South, and the Southeast, the majority.
Sorry, if you are saying 21 states, then that is not up to the requirements.
Yeah.
No.
So what I'm saying now is, even if Peter Obi had the majority, the simple majority votes, there's still a concern that it would not have scaled through with this requirement. I mean, 25% in 25 states.
But both. So I'm sorry,
Okay.
but both the APC and the PDP scale through the.
No, just the APC.
Only the APC did.
Only the APC did.
That's what I'm saying. That if, according to what you are saying now, and we had Peter Obi get the highest number of votes without meeting the requirement of 24 states, there's no presidency on his path.
Do you think that would have happened? I mean, polling the simple majority and not getting this 25% required. Lukman, let's hear from Lukman.
Well, it's tricky. So that's why I said that. I feel the Constitution knew what it was doing. The people who wrote the Constitution knew what they were doing before bringing such a rule into being the president. Because when you look at it, you realize that it's only Peter Obi that won a particular region.
Hands down.
Hands down. So what that means is that you cannot become the president of the whole country by winning a particular region. So it has to go beyond your region, go to the southwest, go to the north, go to northwest, northeast, and you know. But by the time you get majority or 25% votes from all these regions, or at least most of the regions, then you can become the president of the whole country. So yes, I think that even if he had the majority, it wouldn't. I mean, it's not possible. The Constitution is very clear on that. And for the fact that he has 16 he won 16 states, 25% in 16 states, shows one thing, that just maybe Peter Obi needed to do more in the north.
Especially, I think
especially in the northeast and the northwest. Of course, he was able to pull some particular vote from North Central with Plateau, FCT, Nasarawa, and I think Benue State as well.
No, he lost Benue.
He lost Benue, but he got 25% from Benue.
Of course, he got
exactly.
8,000.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it means that you also need to do more. When you look at the figures coming from the northeast and the northwest, they are quite not encouraging. You find I think he got how many votes in Kano again?
In
Less
Kano?
than 100,000.
Yeah.
Kano was very poor.
Less than 100,000.
28,513
Even the
votes.
PDP was very poor in Kano.
28,000 votes.
Exactly,
in Kano.
exactly.
And don't forget that there's a peculiar case in Kano where we have the NNPP candidate who is strong. Shegun,
Yeah.
I mean, people are saying out there that if the PDP and the LP with the NNPP candidate had probably put up a merger before the election, they would have outnumbered the poll. I mean, the votes that Asiwaju got.
If we look at the total number of the opposition, it's a little over 14 million. The entire persons that voted for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a little over 8 million. That is almost close to double. So it definitely meant that a very, very large number of voters did not want the APC to continue. Unfortunately, there was no aggregation of opposition sentiment.
So are you saying the APC thrived on the division within the People's Democratic Party and other lines? Sorry, because
there actually no other line. Actually,
the NPP came from PDP.
There are no other line.
Yeah,
because you look at it, the opposition was Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, Peter Obi, and Atiku Abubakar. And you know that there are others as well. But you know that these three major candidates were all from the People's Democratic Party.
Except for Anambra, sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, except for Anambra, where LP had the majority votes. I mean, over 60%.
Those were the only two states that voted in that.
Don't forget that NMPP had 997,000 votes in Kano State.
The highest number of votes in a single state for an individual.
Well, I was really surprised personally that he was really that strong in Kano.
I was disappointed.
I was
personally, I expected Rabi Musa Kwankwaso to pull nothing less than 1.1, 1.2 million votes on Kano. He is that strong. If you understand the Kano politics and the Kano metropolis.
But if Rabi Musa Kwankwaso got that only from Kano, don't forget Kano has a sitting APC governor. No, does it mean?
Don't forget that even the Kwakwasiya movement is divided into two.
Exactly.
Some are with Ganduje. Why the others
are with Kwankwaso?
That's why I'm saying that he's that strong. There is hardly any home in Kano where you will not find one or two members of Kwakwasiya. He is that strong.
Perhaps Segun is trying to draw our attention to the low voters turnout. Don't forget that on this show we discussed what we've had in the past, where 2019 we had 35% turnout, and this year it appears that we've not done better. We've not done better because the total vote is not even up to 25 million.
That brings to us this question, really. I'm sorry. That brings to us this question. There was so much excitement. There was so much excitement before the election. Almost everybody that you knew who had the PVC would tell you they were going to go out. So what happened to the excitement on the election day? I mean, that has brought out the discussion in public recently about our population. I mean, if there was excitement and then the excitement suddenly dies off on election day, what is there something everybody does not understand?
Well, we can't really say, because if you look at it very well, you see that it's like we're on a slope. We keep going down, starting from 2015. When we had when 44% voters turnout of registered voters. In 2019 we had 35.6. Now this is 2023. We have less than 25 million voters of the registered voters. 25% of the
despite
voters.
The energy.
Yeah, exactly. Despite the energy, despite the level of orientation and excitement. You know, you look at it and then you felt that this is going to be Nigeria. And make a history.
And the PVC drive too. Don't forget those campaigns.
Exactly. So when you look at this, but although you should also understand that this thing came from issues of PVCs that were not collected, because you would see INEC come out time to time to say that, see, we have so number of PVCs that are uncollected in our office. We have this, we have that. So I think this contributed to the problem, but really it is not a good day, because when you have about less than 30 million votes in a population of over 200 million people. So that doesn't speak very well of us.
So is it fair that less than 25 million persons are deciding the future of over 200 million Nigerians?
Well, we wouldn't say it's unfair, because, I mean, I'm not sure that anyone was stopped from voting.
It is a democracy.
Exactly. So if you actually wanted your vote to count, you go out and vote.
So the president-elect, I mean, should be sworn in by May 27, we're hoping.
29.
But May 29, thanks for that.
Just 48 hours.
Just 48 hours. Just 48 hours what?
Late. You're 27.
Okay, okay, thanks for drawing my attention to that. Because even though some of those parties are already saying that they want to challenge, I mean, it's obvious from the press conference that the LP with the PDP had yesterday. So although post the announcement of INEC, none of those parties have come out to contest the results. But I mean, pending that we should be expecting that a president will be sworn in by May 29.
Yeah, I've gotten his
Segun,
return.
what are your expectations for Tinubu's presidency?
Beautiful. He released the manifesto renewed of 80 pages where he explained everything he said he's going to do. Top of his agenda, let me not say particularly top of the, one of his major things that he said he's going to do is that ASU strike will be a thing of the past. Student loans will be made available. Demystification of the oil industry. The downstream sector will be properly taken care of. What else is in his agenda that is really strong? Education was key. Building and boosting the economy was key. Oil industry is... Oil should not be the only reason why a country like Nigeria will be able to make money. We were making money before oil. People were living well before oil.
So you are talking about diversification.
Diversification, yeah, of course, diversification of our streams of income, which every man and every woman does in their own home. Nobody makes money from, I mean, most people have one or two things they are doing apart. So why should a country that has 200 million people?
It appears Lukman is not on the same page with you. Lukman, are you hopeful?
Well, I am not. I am not really. And the reason is because 8 years ago, or a little bit less than 8 years ago, we had a president from this same political party who came out to say that, oh, we are going to diversify our economy, ensure that we get a substantial income from agriculture. We are going to stop ASU strike. You get student loan. Matter of fact, I remember that the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at some point said, see, unemployed youth, you would get 5,000 naira. I don't know if they got it or not, or I didn't get, when I was unemployed, of course. But you realize that this is the same thing that we keep hearing.
So you're saying it's the same whole story?
Exactly. You talk about ASU strike, you talk about diversification, you talk about oil, you talk about education, you talk about unemployment. It's the same old story. So and it's the same party. Don't forget that. So what do you
wait? During the campaign, the president-elect, I mean, in one of the states, Osun to be precise, said that students 8 years will be 8 years. What did he mean by that? Do you have an idea of what he meant by 8 years will be 8 years?
The beauty of a democracy is that despite the errors, despite the mistakes...
Are you saying that was a mistake?
I'm coming. Despite the errors, despite the mistakes, his campaign team came out to explain all the things that happened during his campaign. But you know the beauty of democracy is that you have a stage at every stage. And as we speak, we have gone past that stage.
Okay.
The president-elect was addressing Nigerians early this morning, and he was saying in his acceptance speech that education, top of my agenda, student loan, it will happen, ASU strike, never again. This idea, of course, I agree with Lukman Abolade. They've told me this before. It did not happen. Why am I supposed to believe you? I think I will align my interest with 8.6 million Nigerians who decided to go for the APC. And fortunately for him and unfortunately for the opposition, the scattered 14 million divergent opinion is minority because they were not able to aggregate their love and support for the opinions of those who have diverging opinions to that of the APC. And so their scattered diverging opinions had led to them coming superior. So I think I want to align with the majority. I want to align with persons who believe in this manifesto, in this man, and hopefully the man will disappoint the 8.6 million Nigerians, the 14 plus opposition members, and the 200 in majority.
Thank you, Segun. Lukman, what do you think Tinubu will do different, or what are your expectations regarding the security architecture of the country? Because don't forget that majority of the states are reading with one security challenge or the other. How do you expect him to confront this?
What I would expect is, of course, as you said earlier, that each state had its own peculiar security situation. When you look at the north, you find insurgents and terrorists and what is it called now? The bandits, like we call them, in the northern part of the country. And then when you look at the southeast, you find agitators, people who secessionist agitators who feel that they want to be out of the country, out of Nigeria. And then when you come to the southwest, you see some spate of kidnapping, and also agitators as well, secessionist agitators for a Yoruba nation. And then when you look at all these things, so you would expect that peculiarly the president-elect would look at these situations and address them. There needs to be a change in the way we address our security issues. Although I do not know if the president-elect intends to look at establishing or giving way to a state police, as because you remember that it was a major topic about a year ago between the presidency and other state governors who felt that Nigeria as a diverse country cannot have a unitary security enforcement agency. You need to have them at the state level where the governor can say, oh, this is my problem and this is how we want to face it. So yes, people would be hoping that the president-elect to look at the issue of state police, and then of course the secessionist agitators. Yeah, so on security, that would be what I would expect the president-elect to look at.
So Lukman, from your analysis, if you are to go into restructuring is broad. We have those who clamor for devolution of power. We have those who are clamoring for state policing. We have those that are saying give more power to the grassroots. So people are saying, no, let the local government be independent of the state government and all of that. Segun, we have a president, the president-elect from the south now. Do you think this will douse the secessionist agitations? Well, we have the HIPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra in the eastern part of the country. We have the Yoruba nation in the southwest. Do you think a certain presidency now will douse this agitation?
According to political history, this is not true. When Yar'Adua was president, who are those disturbing Nigeria? Boko Haram. That was the heat of Boko Haram.
You mean Yar'Adua?
Yes. When Goodluck Jonathan was president, who are those who are disturbing Nigeria? The boys in the Niger Delta.
But they argue that Boko Haram then was not as pronounced.
That's what I'm saying. According to Nigeria's history, even when President Olusegun Obasanjo was president, who are those that were disturbing Nigeria? The OPC. Yeah. Until their leader,
because I differ a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. That according to history, people or should I say troublemakers tend to want to misbehave the more when their man is in power, because it's like the last born of the house. When you get to the house, you want to get the attention of your parents, so you want to act. So look at.
Let me draw your attention.
Look at the tenure of Muhammadu Buhari. Who are those people that were also disturbing the house?
But he inherited that actually.
He inherited and it's very hard. In fact, sorry, Segun, let me put you on track.
Sorry, they become more pronounced.
Segun, let me put you on track.
During Goodluck. No, it
was more pronounced when
Segun, let me put you on track so that we don't go into the ball of ethnic profiling. When we mention bandits, we know we have bandits. So it is not fair to tie that. No, because you're trying to say who are those? Because you are trying to. Your analysis suggests that the kinsmen of the presidency of the President Muhammadu Buhari are the ones perpetrating these attacks. I mean, bandit attacks.
And you must also remember
according to what has been found.
You must also remember
what has been found.
You must remember that. What has been found? You must remember that. No, excuse me.
Examples. I can count examples.
Okay, give us examples.
Should we go into examples?
Yeah, let's go into examples.
No, before you go into examples, please, I'd like to quickly put it out that not only the kinsmen of the president are responsible for security situation in Nigeria currently. Don't forget about the unknown gunmen.
Yeah, in the southeast.
That's why we are
thousands of police officers and security agents are being killed, and they are not even from the north.
They are not in government.
So I don't think that it has anything to do with
history. When a president comes from a particular region, many a times persons who are fomenting trouble in the country, I think maybe they gather energy, maybe they suddenly feel, okay, we are in power, maybe. So we can only hope that there is no repeat during this time. And interestingly, we have a president who is now from the southwest. And if you look at the state of things in recent times, before the incumbent government tamed that energy at which they were going, those from the southwest were the Yoruba, what's their name? Nation guys.
Yeah.
But like we are saying now, as we speak, those guys have been tamed to a very good extent. We only hope and pray that history does not beckon upon us anymore.
So are you saying that it's possible that we have resurgence?
The president-elect is able to unite like he has promised, is able to bring everybody together under one roof, under one house, and settle everybody's grievances and ensure that we all work, live amicably.
Okay, thank you for that, Segun. The next thing I think is very important to discuss, because we'll soon be rounding up, is the governorship election, governorship and State House of Assembly election that is coming up in March. Because we've seen a lot of things play out. For instance, the defeat of the All Progressive Congress in Lagos, the overwhelming popularity, beyond doubt of some persons, of the Labour Party candidates, and also the Labour Party as a party itself. So what are your expectations for the governorship, Lukman?
Well, I think it's going to be tricky in some places. Places like Lagos State, of course. You saw how supporters of the Labour Party came out, and then they had they won the Etiosa Federal Constituency ticket for LP against the PDP and the APC. So I feel that we might have more of that during the gubernatorial elections. And also, you look at states like Enugu, where the Labour Party won, I think, a Senate seat as well, and then in other places across the country. So this will play some sort of role in the gubernatorial election. But I think largely, you realize that most of the governors still had their state. Most of them, when you look at it very well, except I think for what is it called now? Lagos State, of course, which was quite surprising that the APC could lose Lagos State, except for Lagos State and Oyo State as well. Oyo, we really do not understand. I don't understand what happened in Oyo State, although we also know that the incumbent governor, Seyi Makinde, was part of the G5. So it was against the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, which is Atiku Abubakar.
The aggrieved group.
Exactly. So we were not expecting him to, work for the emergence of Atiku, but we also did not expect that he would work for the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
There was strong rumor for many weeks.
Yeah, there will be rumors.
But he never came out
to publicly say that. Compared to someone like Samuel Ortom. Ortom came out to
support for.
In fact, Seyi Makinde declared support for all candidates of the PDP a few hours to the election.
All candidates.
All candidates.
Yeah. So are you saying
so it's tricky?
Even the leg of PDP
top to
our governor in Oyo State?
He said it.
He's shaking.
No,
I'm trying to tell Lukman. Are you saying that even the leg of Governor Seyi Makinde is shaking because it's seeking re-election?
Yes, because I think it will be tough. APC had substantial votes from Oyo State. It was massive. So I do not know how you would separate that from the gubernatorial election. Something tricky is going to happen because you look at it. Now we have a president from the south. And of course, any president who is from a particular region would want to have a substantial hold on his region. So it's going to be tricky. Places like Ogun State, you saw what happened. All Senate
voted for APC.
Exactly. All Senate seats, all seats for the Federal House of Representatives too went to APC. So we will not be expecting much from Ogun State, except something happens, of course. So yeah, it's going to be tricky.
So, Segun, what's your expectation?
The beauty
most importantly, I want you to talk about Lagos, because all eyes are on Lagos at the moment. People are saying what happened, the political tsunami that happened on February 25 is possible that it's going to repeat itself in March. We have the LP candidate, Gbadebo Rhodes, and Jandor, the People's Democratic Party candidate. What are your expectations?
according to political history.
And don't forget that Governor Babajide, the incumbent governor, is seeking re-election too.
According to political history, presidential election on Saturday is very much different from governorship election on another Saturday.
Enlighten us.
Let's take the very good example of 2015 in Ondo State. Presidential election, of course, remember that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, ex-president, was seeking re-election.
Yeah.
He lost Ondo State.
All right.
And in those few days before the governorship election, Governor Olusegun Mimiko went round and galvanized enough support because he needed people from his party to win election into the State of Assembly, because else that would be risky for his own tenure as governor. He went round, and you'll be so shocked, the anger through which the people used to vote APC in 2015 Ondo State was completely different, and it was a clean sweep for the PDP in the House of Assembly elections. And if you look at the fact that in Lagos, sentiments differ. There is no Muslim ticket. There is no many persons believe that non-indigenous Lagosians voted in a particular way. There's a strong possibility that that may not happen, and there's also a possibility that it may happen. But one thing is certain, this is probably going to be one of the toughest elections we had in Lagos since 2007, when Fashola was coming into power in 2007. But it's going to be interesting. One thing I do want to see is the beauty of democracy.
So do you see APC winning in March? I mean the governorship.
Next week, upper week?
Yes.
Do I see Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu retaining his seat? I think that is meant for every Lagosian with PVC to answer. Because
I'm of the opinion that we can actually have another Otoge in Lagos.
In Lagos, don't forget what happened in Kwara State.
Exactly.
Where the People's Democratic Party, led by Bukola Saraki, the former Senate president, was displaced.
And they are yet to come back till now.
Yes,
exactly.
We can see from the records that in APC, in Kwara State, APC had 263,000 votes, and PDP had a very distant second position, 36,000 votes, and the LP came third with 31,000 votes. So that still shows that the state is still tilted towards the APC.
At the moment. We've been seeing. You can see that the Lagos State governor and his team are probably going to work × 2 or probably even ×5 of the kind of work they will have done. You can also see the energy in the candidate of the Labour Party, architect Gbadebo Rhodes,
yeah.
And you can see the energy through which he's using social media to galvanize the same support base of his principal at the level of his party.
And I'm surprised that this clout that the candidate of LP is getting is not going to PDP. I don't understand.
Because let's forget. Let's review the data from Lagos.
Yes.
Because
you are saying that the PDP are also not getting the same energy.
Exactly.
PDP had 75,000 votes in Lagos. I mean, for the presidential election, LP had 582,000 and APC 572,000. So from this start, it's easy to predict that the fight is between the APC and the LP.
But they are two different elections. That's why, and it's in a unique state. A unique state in the sense that they've not had it tough. They've not had this tough in a very long time. The candidate of the PDP has come out to say that he's still very much in the race and that he's calling on Lagosians to vote for him. And of course, he's saying his campaign things as well. Everybody is going on. The ruling party as well have intensified their campaigns. I'm actually looking out for what's going to happen in Lagos in the next 2 weeks. But it's going to be tough, obviously. Anybody who's going to win will definitely have to work out for it.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show. We also love to have you some other time. Nigerians, we don't know who is going to win Lagos. If you know, do you know? I don't know as well. So in 2 weeks' time, Nigerians, Lagosians in particular, as well as people in other states, will go out and vote for their preferred candidate. My name is Alfred Olufemi once again. Segun Odonayo and Lukman are with me in the studio. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms for election updates, news updates, and special reports. And also, don't forget to stay on our website, punchng.com. See you later.
We made it happen. Thank you, We overcome all those challenges. And today, I can tell you that it happened. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It took a long time, but today it happened.